I would think that girls would like a dude with a good personality that makes them laugh, but obviously they probably would rather just go for a six-pack and a full set of hair, and they're kind of lacking that these days, so we got to resort to other options, man.
Hi, I'm Zorianna, and I'm here today with Kevin, and we have a very special guest today at Just Seen It, Joe Manganiello.
Yes.
Most people know you from True Blood and, of course, Magic Mike, but today you're here because you directed, wrote, and produced a documentary called Le Bear.
We set up cameras and captured this subculture, this world, this bubble that these guys live in that I think most people in the world have a lot of misperceptions and misunderstand.
Tell me, what is it about exactly?
It's about a group of male strippers at a club in Dallas, Texas called Le Bear, which has been there since male stripping began, which is in the late 1970s, which was surprising to me because I just thought in the back of my mind there was some Renaissance male entertainer somewhere or something, that some King Louis had some male dancer in his court or something, but it's not true. It was really a product of feminism, as Randy Masterblaster so eloquently puts it in the film. Women had equality and they wanted their equal rights to male naked asses. So, that was really where it came from. And this club has survived. It's kind of gone through its ups and downs, and the movie documents the history of male stripping in terms of this club and in terms of Randy Masterblaster, who's in his mid-50s, who's been stripping since 1979 and still going strong.
What made you want to actually tell the story of these guys?
Well, when we got done with Magic Mike, there were so many conversations that I wound up having with people coming out of the theater. And what I realized was that as glossy and kind of funny and goofy as this world was, or seemingly one-dimensional, two-dimensional as this world was, it was a very effective entry point into this discussion about post-feminist male-female sex relations, and namely, how no matter how much work we do so that everyone is equal, we're very different, and namely how our fantasies respectively manifest themselves in a male strip club versus a female strip club. They're very different. The vibe is very different. The job is very different. The routines are very different, and I thought it was a really interesting conversation to start having, and so. I had heard about this club in Dallas from a friend of mine who was a stripper there in the 90s.
So you didn't go there for research first for the role? This came after Magic Mike?
I didn't step foot in a male strip club until day one of shooting on Le Bear.
Wow.
So I kind of, when you're learning your dance routines on Magic Mike, like, you get it. Okay, there's about 30, 45 minutes of me with the fireman axe, and then I'm basically just, grinding on a woman in a chair. Like, I got it. I don't need to go hang out of it. I got it. I figured it out. One of my best friends, was the originator of the fireman routine at Le Bear in the 1990s, and I took him out to lunch as I was getting ready to shoot Magic Mike, and just picked his brain, and I've never laughed so hard in my life, and it really wasn't what I expected at all. I had a lot of preconceived notions about it that were not. Well, you think that these are sleazy guys who are taking advantage of women or mistreating women, and that may be the case somewhere else. Maybe it's some Vegas club. Maybe that's actually the MO. But at this club and with this group of guys, that's not really what it's about. It's about the secret is treating women right.
Everything here is pretty possible. I mean, I'm giving dances where I came out like I fly like a bobcat or something. I had a girl, wanted to buy my socks, and that's what she wanted. She wanted to give me money for my socks. I don't want a lap dance, I just want your socks. I'm like, okay. Well, lucky for you, I got an extra pair of socks in the back. Here you go. This is yours.
Was it difficult to remain objective? Because sometimes the stories can be a little outlandish, and I appreciated the fact that you just kind of let the camera roll, and there was no clever editing to make them look bad or good. It was just them. But was it difficult at times to do that?
Because I judged them. I'm sorry, I judged some of them. Or at least at the beginning I did, until I sort of softened a little bit.
No, I wanted people to get a feel for who they really were, and there was a bit of strategy that went into that. We also, when we initially went to shoot for the first 3 days, we were there with a crew of 3. And so it was very bare bones for a reason, because I didn't want these guys to feel like there was a big crew around filming. I wanted it to be very guerrilla, very almost like hidden camera style. It was all very, calculated, because I wanted people to spend 90 minutes in their world, in this bubble, without any type of distraction. The way that these guys are, I wanted a no holds barred, really, pure experience for the audience.
So your directorial debut, did you always want to make that transition? Was that always part of the grand plan for you?
Well, I've been directing since high school. I had like my own mini studio in high school, and I actually backdoored into acting through directing and writing and filmmaking. That's actually how I really, how I guess the art form first manifested itself. I would sleep with a pad and a pen next to the bed. And I would write TV shows for all my friends to star in at school, and borrow cameras on the weekends and film movies. I made full-length movies in high school with sound effects and soundtrack and special effects, and we figured out how to make homemade squibs we fill condoms with red food coloring and Karo syrup, and we'd attach them to like metal cookie tins and tape them like over our hearts and kneecaps and stuff, and with a firecracker. So you'd have to get the camera rolling, and you'd lean your hand. Somebody would have to lean their hand in with the lighter and hit the fuse and get their hand out in time, and we could make the skin flap and blood squirt, and
So we're going to shift gears for a second.
Okay.
I bought your book.
Yes.
And I started the workout. But what I found interesting about it is it isn't just a workout book. It's, you go into your history and the things that you struggle with and the things you got over. And I found it very inspiring. It hit a lot of things that I'm struggling with, or I struggle with. So when you got the role of Flash in Spider-Man, you had a little dark time after that.
Yeah,
Can
sure.
you kind of just talk about that a little bit?
Well, there's that phrase, youth is wasted on the young. And I think that the trick of that is that a lot of times when we're young, we're trying to see what we can get away with. And there was a paradigm shift that happened for me, because people always use the word potential to describe this. You have so much potential. And I would take pride in that. Kind of like, yeah, I do. And then when you get a little bit older, you realize potential is a negative word, because it means that there is something unrealized, and that I was sitting on top of this potential and wasn't developing it. And so there was a shift that happened somewhere around there, where I had to shift from trying to see what I could get away with into once and for all seeing what I could actually do, what I could actually become. When I got True Blood, I was 33 years old, and I honestly, in the back of my mind, thought, I'm past my prime. I didn't understand that it wasn't over. And that, I'm, approaching 40, and it's like I've still got so much to gain and so many ways that I can grow. And I think a lot of people don't give themselves the opportunity.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. It was fascinating to talk to you. Best of luck on the film. Congratulations on the book. We look forward to seeing what else you're going to direct, because it was truly fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having me.
Cheers to you and your new direction.
Did I say Nozdrovia?
Na zdrowie.
Nozdrovia in Ukraine?
Yes, thank
okay,
you. That's right.
What are they talking about?